In our research group, we're interested in the evolution and ecology of animal reproduction, with a particular focus on trying to understand interactions that take place between sperm and egg in that all-important struggle to achieve fertilisation and pass genes on to the next generation. One area we're particularly interested in trying to understand is whether, and then how, females have evolved the ability to encourage the right sperm to fertilise their eggs. What do we mean by the right sperm? Well, we mean a sperm that carries a genetic haplotype that perfectly complements the genetic haplotype of the female's egg, and therefore produces a perfectly surviving and successfully reproducing offspring that carries genes forward to future generations. A good example of a situation where encouraging fertilisation by the right sperm is very important is when populations become inbred, presenting greater risks that females could be fertilised by the wrong sperm from genetically too closely related males. So our approach has been to experimentally engineer situations that present high risks of inbreeding, and then examine whether females have these mechanisms that enable them to encourage fertilisation by the right sperm or discourage fertilisation by the wrong sperm. And this is our experimental model, the red flower beetle. It's a global pest of stored products, but it's an excellent practical model for these experiments because it's got a short generation time, about a month, and it's easy to rear and maintain in huge numbers. So we can run big, heavily replicated experiments across multiple generations in order to answer the questions we pose. And biologically, it's a really good model for answering these questions too. First of all, females are highly promiscuous in this species, thereby giving them the opportunity to select between a wide range of sperm that they take on board. And secondly, because we know that often this species goes through very tight genetic bottlenecks, which will present high risks of inbreeding when one or two individuals found new infestations. So we created multiple inbred populations and multiple outbred populations, and then simply examined how female reproductive success varied, either when they were given a choice of sperm or when we experimentally denied them any choice of sperm. And what we found was that if you're a female living in a non-inbred, normal genetically mixed population, then it doesn't matter whether you're provided with a choice of sperm or not. Your reproductive success is the same at normal, healthy levels. However, if you're a female living in an inbred population, presenting high risks of genetic incompatibility between males and females, then it's very important that you're provided with a choice of sperm. Females that were denied a choice of sperm and given just one male to mate with in inbred populations had effectively a halving of their reproductive success, but if we gave females a choice of sperm from 5 different males, they were able to double their reproductive success back up to basically the same levels as if they were living in a normal, outbred, non-inbred population. So these results tell us, I think, 2 important things. First of all, they tell us that females indeed do possess mechanisms that somehow enable them to promote fertilisation by the right sperm. Secondly, this result tells us that selection should actually promote female promiscuity if the population becomes very inbred, because high levels of promiscuity will give females a higher range of sperm to choose from and let those mechanisms get to work to encourage the right sperm to fertilise and thereby maximise female reproductive success. So we ran another experiment to test this possibility by driving populations through tight genetic bottlenecks that created high risks of inbreeding, high levels of genetic incompatibility between males and females, and then 15 generations later we assayed female mating behaviour in these populations. And what we found was that females in populations that had previously gone through these tight genetic bottlenecks had indeed evolved to become a lot more promiscuous than females from populations that hadn't gone through these genetic bottlenecks. So I think these findings together tell us 2 things of general importance. First of all, that there may be a whole range of very interesting mechanisms of competition, selection and choice operating hidden at the level of the sperm and egg that are out there yet to be discovered. And secondly, that this genetic compatibility between males and females could be one reason why we see so much promiscuity across the animal kingdom, which is quite counterintuitive really, because we know that a single male can usually provide a female with a lifetime of full fertility.